Hello everyone and welcome to Rochester, New York for the first C1 of the US season and the kickoff the new USCX National Cyclocross Series. This race, along with every other race in this series, will be broadcasted on GCN, Global Cycling Network, and the C1s will be broadcasted on Eurosport. This is a big deal for us Americans and it's an awesome course here, so let's get into it. This is normally a pretty dry course. Sometimes we get some dusty additions, but earlier this week we did see some flash flooding warnings on Wednesday and some on-off showers all day Thursday. So you'll see the ground is a little bit wet in some corners. I'm very curious to see how this course drains. With the sun and wind today on Friday, it seemed like the course was draining and drying out pretty well, but it's yet to be seen if some corners will get slick. Already we're seeing some tight turns, some bottlenecks. That's going to be the name of the game today for the course. There are three big bottleneck sections. You're going to see these big wide open pedaling sections where there's going to be high variation in speed. You're going to be able to really open it up, and then you're going to have to bring the speed all the way down, and it's going to be single file. So positioning is going to be very important. Going up and over this flyover, barriers, coming up on a couple under 23 racers here. Dylan Zakrajcik and an ODA rider up front with USA Cycling. That's Kyle Johnson. So following their wheel for a little bit before I go around and start ramping up this hot lap here for my warm-up. So we're coming into, this is the Voodoo U-Turn. Scott Page, the promoter of Rochester Cyclocross, has come up with some pretty creative name for some of these sections. So you'll see a lot of these turns. It's all about carrying speed, minimizing the brakes, go tape to tape. That's the name of the game. Maintain your momentum so you don't have to accelerate as hard. So you're able to get a lot of speed and momentum. This is a slight false flat section. The beaten path is all the way on the right. A line has started to form. A really steep, deep-seated power climb here. Up 180, down to the bottom, and this turn is already a little bit slick. Just shy of a 180 turn. Keep your traction, keep your momentum, and now we're starting to go under this bridge. Really steep, slick off camber. It's all about maintaining traction. I could see a lot of riders needing to get off and dismount here if they're not up front in their group. So this is kind of a half pipe like shaped feature where you're going up and down the side of this hill. A couple routes you got to keep an eye out for. It's a little bit bumpy. Gear selection is going to be important here. You're going down these hills, you want to be in a bigger gear, then it's going to be very easy to be mashing too hard of a gear as you start to bring the momentum back up. So just be mindful of that. Minimize the braking, carry the momentum well. You get a little bit of a breather here before you go into the jungle section. Some tight turns. It's going to be this fast flowing, whoops, see, we're already a couple bunny hops here, bunny hopping over that log. It's kind of sawed into a stair shape for those who can't bunny hop it. Another little bunny hop here. Off camber, and I did this course pre-ride about 4:30, 5 o'clock, just about the time that the pro men are going to be racing. You can see that the sun is peeking through these trees, starting to go down a little bit, so there could be a couple sections where the sun will be right in our eyes. Be mindful of eyewear selection, your glasses, if you're going to be racing later in the day, that is. This is just something you have to think about. So through the woods, still in this jungle area, it's going to be single file through here. Another little bunny hop off that off camber. Steep drop, coming right onto this bike path. Quickly coming back up the hill. It's a pretty steep run up. No chance of riding it. I'd be very surprised if someone does. If someone does ride it, that's the wheel I want to be on. But quick remount. We're going to drop back down onto the bike path. Erie Canal is just to the left of us. Don't overshoot that. Don't end up in the canal. But this is another part of this course where you're able to really open up the speed. There's a lot of variation in speed on this course. As I said earlier, you're going to be going single file through some of the technical sections, some of these bottlenecks, like that jungle area, like this double trouble U-turn section as we come back down towards the canal. See, hit the brakes, a couple 180 turns, check the speed. It's going to be back to single file. We got an interesting feature here. You're able to bunny hop those little routes. If you stay all the way left, carry the momentum. If you try to hug it too far to the right, you're going to be on the feet running. Remount quick. Steep drop. This is much steeper than it actually looks. There are two lines, one slightly to the right and one all the way to the left. The one to the left is a little bit steeper. You can go back and rewatch that section. But the line to the left is a little bit steeper. There's a bit of a drop off a route. but it sets you up a little bit better for the exit, and you're able to carry more momentum as you come back up the hill, away from the canal, and back to this part of the course where you're able to really open the speed again. So that was the second big bottleneck in this course. And we're coming up to the third bottleneck section in a little bit after we ramp up the speed a little bit more. So tape to tape, we're coming by pit 2 here. Again, this is just one of those things. If you're off the back of the group, make that effort to get reconnected to the group. If you're already in the group, try to make your way back to the front, because positioning is going to be so important here. 180 turn, tape to tape, outside, inside, outside. And if some of these corners do get a little slick, look for that traction on the outside of the turns. Look for the green patches of grass. Green means traction, green means go. Fast corners here, again, I'm being redundant here, but tape to tape. Really look to carry your momentum. Through a lot of these corners, you really don't need to use your brakes. Just save that energy, save the momentum. Continuing to really open it up on this side of the course. If you're able to get an advantage through some of those bottleneck sections, this is the part where you start to make the difference. A couple speed checks through here, up onto the side of the hill. And this is the north section part of the course where you're on the side of the hill, couple off cambers, short punchy sections, but you're coming off these big power straightaways. Time to take a breather, carry your momentum back up the hill, try to minimize the use of your brakes, be in a nice light, easy gear to be able to accelerate quickly after these turns. So, a little bit of a breather, catch your breath, bending to the left here, up and over this riser. That little corner was a little bit more slick than it leads on in this video. Front wheel slid out the lap before this as I was doing a hot lap. The off camera kind of goes away from you, so just kind of weight the body, weight the bike just right. You don't want the front end sliding out from underneath you. Up and over those Belgian stairs, the Full Moon Vista Belgian stairs. Here in the US, we love to idolize the Belgians in our cross courses. I don't know what makes these stairs Belgian, but they're Belgian stairs. Couple U-turns. We're really within the final couple hundred meters of this course. It's a short sprint coming into the finish line, so if you're leading, if you're in a group, you're coming into the finish, you're really able to lead in to the sprint. That gives you an advantage. So we bend to the right here. Got only a couple turns left. Going in the drops here, I'm practicing a sprint just to see how hard I can rip this bank berm here. Coming in, and there's a lot of traction. See, passing these couple guys here, you can really push tape to tape, outside, inside, outside, back onto the home stretch, and that's the course. Really fast track here in Rochester. Looks like we're going to have some good grip, maybe a couple slick corners. Hope you're all able to come out and enjoy the races, and if not, please watch us on GCN. It's going to be a great race, and I hope you enjoy.